Hey, what's up, guys? You got Gypsy back here today, bringing you my week 6 match in the CFA. This week we're going up against my man Harry, and yeah, he's got a pretty interesting team. He's got stuff like, as you can see, he's brought Lando, Azu, he's got Entei, he's got Threats, and he's got Megazam, which is a monster. He also had stuff like Among Us on his team. He had Skuntank, he had Honchcrow as well. So yeah, pretty cool team. Definitely, and yeah, forced me to build a bit differently. I'll just give a quick rundown of what we brought this week. So we've got a specially defensive Reuniclus, and I'm rocking the safety goggles. I'm denied about this set like so much. I was contemplating running overcoat with like assault vest, and then I was thinking of lefties. I even contemplated Cobra at one point, but I then finally settled on Magic Guard with safety goggles. The reason being, like, this is my primary switch into Among Us, and if Among Us realizes that it can no longer spawn me, he may get wide stat and start sludge bombing the switch in. And if you get poison, that means it's like way harder to check Zam. This is also a nice check to Mega Zam in a sense, because I do take just under 50 from a Shadow Ball. If he's timid, and he has to run timid because I have a Megalop, he has to respect that speed tier. So yeah, I'm fully specially defensive. I'm rocking the safety goggles. I wanted T-Wave, but I just couldn't really fit it on. I wanted T-Wave for the mere fact that he has Skuntank and he has Honchcrow. Has a nice switch into Psychic type attacks aimed at Among Us. My original set was going to be T-Wave, Reflect, Psychic, Recover, but that left me walled by his Dark types, who could Pursuit Trap me, and while Pursuit wouldn't do much, it would still put me in range to die from 2 of Alakazam's Focus Blasts. So what I ended up settling on was Psychic, Reflect, Signal Beam, and Recover. I can Reflect on the switch out to a Dark type. If you were to bring that, and then Signal Beam, I can take it out. I can 1v1 it with Signal Beam with the Reflect up. But Minato switches to his Dark types. Like, he's unlikely to Pursuit a reflected, like a Reuniclus with Reflect up. He's more likely to just go for the Crunch or something like that. So yeah, Reuniclus is my answer to Among Us. It's not a very good answer to Megazam, because Megazam can potentially Calm Mind. If he decides to run Modest for some reason, he can 2 Ikomi. So yeah, it's just a big threat, but I did need an answer to like a spawning Among Us if he did bring it. Next up we have my Lopunny, my Mega Lopunny. Running Adamant this week because I can outspeed everything relevant that I need to. I'm running a lot of bulk, only enough speed to outspeed max speed Lando T, and the rest in HP, and obviously max attack. So I'm rocking the quick attack fake out combo for Megazam. It's also really nice for like a belly drumming Azumarill, because that is definitely a threat versus my team. So if I can put it in range to die from like a fake out plus a quick attack, then that'll be really nice. And then I've got Return and then Drain Punch. No, sorry, I've got Return and then Ice Punch for a potential Rocky Helmet Lando. Then we have my Manaphy, which is a pretty nice spread this week. It's enough speed to outspeed max speed Entei Adamant. It's hitting like 300. The rest in max HP, and then the rest in defense. Rain Dance, Rest, Scald, Ice Beam. Ice Beam allows me to hit Among Us for decent damage, and allows me to do big damage to the Lando. Rain Dance obviously for like the Rest combo, lets me heal off potential poisons and burns from Entei. This is my switch into like a banded Entei, so I did need one. I didn't want to just have like Porygon as my switch in and let it get burnt and crippled. So that's Manaphy's job. It also, if you see the team he's brought, it also does a pretty nice job of checking like stuff like Hitmonchan and the Lando T. Because I do outspeed. No, I don't outspeed a max speed Lando, but I think he's going to bring a more defensive variant. If he does bring a max speed, then it's just going to be more easily checked by Mega Lopunny with the Ice Punch. So next up we've got the Nidoqueen, and this is enough HP to ensure that I'm not killed by a banded Azu's Aqua Jet. I outspeed Azu with my investment, and then I can kill him with the Poison Jab. I max attack. I've got Sucker Punch for the Megazam. I've got Stealth Rocks, and then I have the Earthquake. So this is, yeah, pretty interesting Nidoqueen. Actually, it's pretty standard, to be honest. It's just like max HP, max attack, and a little bit of speed to outspeed max speed Azumarill. But pretty important nonetheless. Sucker Punch can come in clutch once I weaken the Megazam. Like, I have to have answers. Like, I have to have priority answers to taking it out, because it's just such a monster. Like, if it sets up a Calm Mind, then I don't think I can afford to run a sub Calm Mind set, because I do have like Porygon, and then I also have Reuniclus, so he has to kind of have coverage for those. So that is something pretty nice about this matchup. I've also got a Metagross on my team, so like he definitely does need Shadow Ball, otherwise he could be pursuit trapped. Then we've got Fizdef, Zapdos, primarily for stuff like Honchkrow. I can Roost up on Stone Edges from my Lando, especially a defensive Lando. I can easily stall that out. I have to watch out for like him EQing on my Roost though, but yeah, definitely important. I can defog Hazards away if I need to. I've got HP Ice for Lando, and I can also tank hits from like a Banded Azu and threaten him out with the Thunderbolt. And then lastly, we have a nice modest max special attack, speedy offensive Porygon 2, T-Bolt after the download boost does massive damage to Azumarill. Shadow Ball does huge damage to Mega Alakazam. I've got Ice Beam for the Lando. Originally I had Tri Attack, but over Shadow Ball, but Shadow Ball is nice for his Rotom. He's like a normal Rotom and a Alakazam, so that yeah, those just big threats to my team. So I felt as though Shadow Ball was a bit nicer than Tri Attack. Tri Attack obviously hits Entei and Swampert and for better damage, but I felt as though those are pretty much managed by the rest of my team. So without further ado, we'll jump into the match. At matchup, I felt as though him leading with Lando or potentially Swampert to get up rocks was probably his best lead. Like if he's a Rocky Helmet Lando or even like a Rocky Helmet Swampert, he may predict my Mega Lopunny because that's what I've been leading with quite a lot this season. So I do lead off with Manaphy. And obviously he doesn't know my set yet, so he's going to be scared out by the potential either Tail Glow or even just a Scald. So I fire off a Scald. I'm no special attack, but that still does a decent amount to this Hitmonchan, considering it's got pretty good Spit F. I don't get the burn, that's okay, I do 34%. So now I switch out to my Zapdos, knowing he's likely going to Thunder Punch. I need to keep Manaphy at a high mana health, so he Thunder Punches there. And now I pivot back to Manaphy on either on the Ice Punch or on the switch out to Swampert. And this is nice because I can potentially scare him out with the Energy Ball here. Like I've shown, if he's calced the damage on Hitmonchan, he'd know that I'm not invested, but I may still be packing the Energy Ball. He does switch out, at this point goes down to his Alakazam, and I just fire off another Scald. So this is nice, I've put him in guaranteed range to die from Sucker Punch from my Nidoqueen now, so that is really nice. If anything, like, unless he's a Calm Minding sub-variant, then this should be pretty easy to take on from here. He also dies to Fake Out plus Quick Attack. He also dies to Shadow Ball from a specially attack boosted download Porygon. So yeah, we're looking pretty nice. I'm glad we got that little bit of damage off in the Alakazam, but now I just switch out to my Reuniclus as he goes for an Energy Ball. I felt as though like whilst he could have gone for the Focus Blast there, predicting my Porygon 2 to come in. So Reuniclus was pretty safe, and because this is Spit F, it is my switch in. He just goes for the Energy Ball, and it doesn't do much. Now, I go for the Signal Beam here, expecting him to Shadow Ball, because, like the way I took that Energy Ball, if he'd been running Calcs, he should know that I'm specially defensive, and Shadow Ball can't kill him from here. But Signal Beam will do a decent chunk. He just switches out to his Entei, not wanting to take any more damage on the Alakazam, and that's fine. So I get a little bit of damage off with the Signal Beam, pretty irrelevant, as Manaphy can just come back in now. And now it gets to fire off another Scald. I am speed creeping this Entei. The calcs do confirm that it's adamant banned, the Sacred Fire damage versus my Manaphy, so that's pretty nice. I know for sure that I outspeed, and it's not like some Power Herb Solar Beam set, so I don't have to worry about that. He just brings in his Swampert and decides to poison me, as I can just Rain Dance here to cure off the poison, and he sets up Rocks. Now Rocks are definitely annoying for my team. Zapdos is going to have a pretty tricky time coming in to heal off, to defog the Rocks away, but Rocks, you know, they're annoying for Zapdos, they're not annoying for Reuniclus and Nidoqueen, obviously. It is annoying for my Porygon because now I can't switch in on an Energy Ball plus Rocks plus a Focus Blast because I will go down to that from Megazam, so that is quite annoying, but we should be able to still play around that. I can basically 1v1 this Swampert right here. I rest up here knowing that he's very unlikely to switch out. He doesn't want anything else to get burnt, and this is basically death fodder at this point, so he just chooses to sack it off as I do get that rest up, essentially going back to full health after these lefties. And now he brings back in the Alakazam, so obviously Manaphy is still so important for the rest of his team. I'm not going to risk it getting Energy Balled. He goes for the knockoff here, and knocks off my safety goggles. Now, I guess he predicted the Porygon to come in, because he'd already shown Shadow Ball. well, it was likely that he had Shadow Ball to hit my Reuniclus. So right here, I just decided to preserve my Reuniclus. He does get the Spadef drop, which is very unfortunate, meaning I will go down to another Shadow Ball. And now he just goes for the Energy Ball here, and he doesn't want to stay in to risk getting like D-waved or anything from my Porygon. He just goes into his Entei, as I just take this opportunity to recover up, because I figured he was going to switch out, or if anything, maybe got to his Azumarill, which could not kill me, and I could two-shot him. So I just can bring my Manaphy back in on the Entei, and I just get to fire off another Scald, so this is really nice. I can 2-hit KO this Hitmonchan, as I do get the Irrelevant Burn. He doesn't go for Mach Punch here for the damage, so I'm assuming he didn't have Mach Punch. It doesn't really... I suppose it's nice for the Lopunny, but Quick Attack goes first, and it actually does huge damage to the Hitmonchan anyway, so he may not have even had it at that point. I go into my Reuniclus here, sort of acting like I want to sack it off, but I do switch out to my Porygon here on the Shadow Ball, so that's really nice. Now the Azumarill comes here on the Shadow Ball, and it does a decent amount. I know T-Bolt's not going to take him out at this range, but it's going to put him really low to the point where if I get Rocks up, he's going to go down, or he's just going to go down to any hit, even I think a Signal Beam from Reuniclus at that range, so that is really nice. I can just recover up here. He is banded, that damage revealed that he's banded Azumarill with a knockoff, so recover actually heals up more, even without my Violite, heals more than the knockoff will do to me after my item's been knocked off, so that's pretty nice. That forces him out. I could just bring back in my Manaphy, even if he burns me here. Even if he were to Sacred Fire and hit me there, I could just Rain Dance and rest up. He would have likely sacked off the Azumarill at that point, but he just goes back into his Alakazam, so it is a huge threat to my team. Like, I don't really agree with the sack there. I probably would have sacked the Azumarill if I was him, but he lets his Alakazam get burnt, and now I predict him to go for the Energy Ball, so I just go out to my Reuniclus. And I have no reason to sack this. I can keep this around for Death Fodder if I need to. Manaphy is just such a nice switch into the Entei. He gets the burn here, which is annoying, but I can Rain Dance up next turn, reducing Sacred Fire by 50%. It only does 13% this time, so healing my burn, I can now rest up on this next turn as he just goes out to his Azumarill. He goes out to his Landorus, excuse me. Interesting play. I can actually just take him out here with a Scald, or just do huge damage to him with the Scald here. It was a roll to take him out, and I don't get it, but I do get the burn, as he just chooses to Toxic me here, so not sure about that play. But yeah, it's looking like Manaphy's going to wrap up the game at this point, because Banded Aqua Jet only does 20% in the range, so that's just a testament to how bulky this Manaphy is. And Manaphy obviously can't take me out with, Entei can't take Manaphy out with any hits, so yeah, Manaphy wraps up the game. Manaphy just putting in the work the whole time. Really, like, whilst Tailglow would have been nice versus his team defensive, Manaphy just did so much work. So there we have it. That's my week 6 game. I think that's like our 4th 6-0 this season, so that's pretty nice. We are now at 5-1 with a 23 differential, so I don't know if we're going to be able to beat the differential from last season, but you know, we'll try. We still got next week, week 7, and then we have the playoffs. And you know, if I can make it through the playoffs to the finals, it's possible. But we'll see. We'll see how we go. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment what you guys thought of the match, and the team, and all that. And you know, sub to my channel if you're not already subbed. And yeah, I'll be bringing you guys week 7 as it comes. So